The man who killed a 14-year-old in Herndon is going to prison for a decade. That sentence came down today in court, but for a time it seemed this day might never come. Nick Minock explained what stalled the sentence and how it got back on track.
In March 2024, Makai Malave was 14 years old when he was shot and killed by Ishmael Cruz Delcid near a school bus stop in Herndon. Now, nearly 2 years later, Makai's father told a judge that it feels like his best friend was ripped away from him. Jenna is Makai's mother.
He was a child who got off a school bus and never made it home. He didn't get mercy. He didn't get a deal. He lost his life.
Today, a Fairfax County judge sentenced Cruz Delcid to the max, 10 years behind bars for voluntary manslaughter.
What do you think about the judge imposing the maximum sentence in this case? 10 years and then 3 years supervised probation.
I always liked Judge Tran from the very beginning. You could tell he thinks and he processes, and he's fair. Like I said, Ishmael should be facing life. So I think 10 years plus 3 years probation, that's a drop in the bucket. I mean, for what he did. I'd rather him be in there than let out to do this to somebody else's kid.
For a time, it wasn't clear that this day would ever come. At one point, Cruz Delcid's case went to trial, but it resulted in a hung jury. Prosecutors tried again. This time, Cruz Delcid entered what's known as an Alford plea, which insists his innocence while acknowledging prosecutors have enough evidence for a conviction.
Unfortunately, we had to offer the plea agreement because one of our witnesses was unable to testify again. So we kind of had to get ahead of it and offer this deal. I wasn't happy about it, but there was no part of me that can sit in a courtroom and they have to drop the charges and watch that murderer walk out of the room. So I figure, something is better than nothing.
Cruz Delcid's attorney told the court that this started with a beef at a fast food joint a year before the shooting, and that he was afraid Makai and his friend were going to kill him. Makai's mother disputes the attorney's claims, and she says she's glad this case is finally coming to a close.
It's been almost 2 years of back and forth, court dates and just hearing blatant lies.
Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney Steve Descano's office argued for the maximum sentence in this case, which is exactly what happened. Descano told me after court that at the center of this tragedy is a death of a young man that was completely avoidable. And the community is now safer now that Cruz Delcid is behind bars. Reporting in Fairfax, Nick Minock, 7 News.